Everyone, today I am going to be ranking my top 5 eyeshadow palettes of 2021. These are the 5 palettes, so if you want to see how I rank them and which one is number 1, just keep watching. We're finally here talking about my top 5. I've tried so many palettes in 2021, so now we got the ones that I absolutely love to death. So let's talk about it. Starting off at number 5, we have the Colourpop The Nightmare Before Christmas palette. This palette was just absolutely stunning. I love how the look turned out. It was so fun. I could not stop thinking about how I think it was one of my favorite looks of the year, and that alone just made me know that this palette had to be in my top 5. As you guys can see, it's beautiful. It has dark tones and then it has bright tones. Obviously, it's not super big on the vibes of The Nightmare Before Christmas, but besides that, if you take that away from it and it's just another Colourpop palette, then this is amazing. I really like the formula in this palette. Colourpop never lets me down. They always have really good formulas, but these shades are just extra good. The bright shades blend out so beautifully. I had no issues whatsoever. The shimmers are pretty good as well. They're not subtle, if that makes sense. They're there and you know they're there. I do think though, this shade is a bit more satiny than I would like, so I would like for the pink to be a bit more intense. But besides that, I love this palette. I love the colors. I just think it's a fun palette and I'm gonna get lots of use out of it. I think what I like most is the fact that you could do a natural gray tone look, or you could do a mixture of bright and dark, or you could do one or the other. It just has lots of possibilities, so that's why it is at number 5. At number 4, we have the Collidos Flower Punk palette. This palette, I mean, look at it. It says it all. These are such my vibes. I love bright blues, and I love the pinks in this palette. I love the greens. This palette just spoke to me so much. As soon as I saw them release it, I knew I need to do it. No, I knew I needed to get it. I think that the shades go together so well, too. I love that you have greens, but then you also have blues, so you could mix them, but then also you have pink, so you can do a pop of pink, a pop of blue, a pop of green, a pop of yellow if you want. On this end you could do a little bit more of a natural look, but over here you can do just fun, intense colors, and I'm down for that. The look I did with this palette was a full-on green look, which I fell in love with. Personally though, I do think that the blue shade is what speaks to me. This is just such a beautiful sort of blue teal type moment. It's really pretty. There we go. You can see it a bit better there. It's just so pretty, and I think it goes good with the light blue, but also the greens. The shade Chlorophyll, I would definitely use with Mint Freeze and Aloe Co. I think that'd be so cute. But then you have Stained Glass as well, which is a beautiful pink. Look at the intensity of that. It is so good. Collidos has such good shimmer formulas. I wish that this year that they will come out with more of this. That is my hope, that they will come out with more palettes like this color wise, because I'm down. This is the type of color story that I fall in love with. I love the quality. I had no issues whatsoever using the palette, so I am very excited, which is why this is at number 4. At number 3, we have the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Surge palette. I love this palette, you guys. It is so fun. I love that you have pastels, you have your typical bright shades, then you have dark shades, you have your shimmers, and then you have your neons. This is it for me. I can do so many looks with just this palette alone, and I love that. I love the possibilities, and honestly, the brand owner is such a sweetheart, so of course, any indie brands that I can support, I will, and this is a brand that I love. I do have to say, shipping to Canada was 20 some bucks, so expensive, but worth it in my opinion. This is just such a good palette. I do want to try their other palettes. They have 2 currently, and I really want to try them, but this one is just the one that spoke to me the most because of the dark shades, to be honest. I've been in such a grungy kick that anytime there's grunge, I am down for that, and these shades are so good and grungy. The shimmers are honestly so intense. Look at those. The shimmer formula really just sends me to heaven. I love the shimmers so much. I really hope that in the future they come out with more shimmers because it's one of my favorite shimmer formulas ever. I mean, like, look at those. They're so luscious and I just want to use them all over my lid, to be honest. The look I did with this palette was a purple look. Purple's my favorite color in general and in eyeshadows, so those are what I wanted to utilize first. I really like it. It was my first time using like super, super dark shades, and I think it turned out okay. The blend wasn't perfect, but that's on me, not the shadows. I'm just, you know, I'm not a professional. I do this for fun. It's my hobby, so I'm not the best, but I love how the look turned out. I think it was cute. Honestly, I can't even decide what color story I want to go with next. I'm thinking maybe green or blue, but the pink looks, see, that's my thing. There's so many options, but at the same time, I'm like, what do I do? You know what I mean? Because I want to use it all. But this is such a good palette, and I'm so excited to see what else Blend Buddy Cosmetics comes out with. But yeah, this is my number 3. We're down to the top 2. We have Midas Cosmetics Perception Palette and the Serenity Palette by Menagerie Cosmetics. Let's see which one is my number 2 and which is my number 1. At number 2, we have the Serenity Palette by Menagerie Cosmetics in collaboration with the Nuts Makeup Corner. Honestly, I had a hard time deciding between the two of these because I love them both almost equally, but I just love Midas one a little bit more because of the color story and the options. But this one is still beautiful and still one of my favorites of all time. Menagerie has such good quality eyeshadows, like one of the best on the market that I've ever tried, especially their shimmers. They're just so freaking beautiful. I love them so much, and this palette is no different. I've used this palette multiple times. I love it so much. See, like, those are the shimmers. Like, they're just so good. I love them so much. This color story gives me life too. Like, I love the purpley pink tones, but also the greens and blues. You guys know when there is a bright color story, I am down. Like, it's either brights or grunges for me. That is like how I roll. I love bright shades and I love grungy shades, so this palette speaks to me. I love it so, so much. And even like the packaging itself, Menagerie does such stunning packaging. And honestly, the size of the pans, I mean, I'm never gonna run through one of these. Like, the pans are just so big. So I don't know, you guys. The look I did, I will tell you guys. I did a pink and orange look using, obviously, the pink tones, the orangey tones, and I think the yellow as well, and I love how that turned out. That was, like, my favorite look with this palette. It was so, so good. I had so much fun with it, and I added liner, and I think that it looked bomb. The second look I did was just, like, a purple look. It wasn't anything too fancy. It was the first time I used the palette, but I still liked it. I think it was pretty, but I definitely prefer the other look I did more. Like I said, it was really hard picking between a number 2 and a number 1, but I still love this palette almost as much as my number 1, so that goes to tell you how good this palette is. Last but not least, at number 1, we have the Midas Cosmetics Perception Palette in collaboration with the Basic Bee. First of all, this packaging is stunning. I love the galaxy print. I do want to say Midas Cosmetics is closing this year, which I'm heartbroken about. Their formulas are amazing, but I hope that the owner is doing well, and I hope that one day maybe they can come back and do makeup again, because the formulas and everything are amazing, and I think that they are worth everything. And this palette just is amazing to me. I love the color story. I love the bright colors and the darker colors, and even like the natural tones in here aren't bad either. But also I love the variety. I love that you get so many shades, but it's not too overpowering. Like, I love the Surge palette by Blend Bunny, but it's a little bit overwhelming, whereas this one, it's a little less overwhelming, and I kind of get more ideas with it. The first time I used this palette, I did a pink look using the shade Evolve, and honestly, after I did that look, I knew that this was going to be one of my top palettes of the year. I love that look so much. I've never had a pink shade like that, like a corally pink, work well. Like, they're usually very, very difficult to formulate from what I understand, so the fact that this palette, I had no issues, was just, I was like awestruck with it, and I knew that like this palette was one of my favorites of all time. And then when I use it again, I used it recently when I went to celebrate my birthday with one of my best friends, and I just did a really simple look. Like I didn't do mascara or anything because I was wearing my glasses anyways, so, but I put the coral shade on the inside of my inner corner and then the shade Psyche on my lid, and I fell in love with that too. Like, this palette is just so versatile. I mean, for inner corner shades, I love doing like pops of color now. So like you could do like the orange or the green or the blue or the yellow. Like, you have so many options with this palette, and then also you have nice dark shades too to do a dark look. I'm just obsessed with this palette. It is everything to me, and it is my number one. I love it so much, and honestly, I need it in my life forever. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you subscribe. Comment down below any videos you'd like to see me do. Go follow my Instagram and TikTok, Makeup by Tasha XO, and I'll see you in the next video.